been quite a number of years since I last revisited The Three Musketeers. I remember loving it, but it was one of those films that the more it was adapted, the more versions I saw, the kind of less I went back to this one. But I was really curious about this film, and checking it out, I was surprised by the wealth of cast that this has. Now, I remembered some of the main players like Michael York, Oliver Reed, Richard Chamberlain, Christopher Lee, but I had forgot other ones like Charlton Heston, like Faye Dunaway, like Joss Ackland, Raquel Welch, Spike Milligan. It just, every time a new character appeared, it was a familiar face, and it was a welcome addition to this film. And this film is directed by Richard Lester, who I really like anyway, but has one of those kind of magical touches where the story is almost inconsequential to the actual way the film plays out, because it's all about the characters, their interaction, and the fun moments I had spending time with them. Michael York plays D'Artagnan, a young man who is going to the big city to become a musketeer. On his first visit there, he insults the three musketeers and must have duels with them, one at 12, one at 1, one at 2.
My father recommended that I fight duels.
Well, let us hope you can do him some credit.
Of course, charms these guys with his ability and becomes part of the crew. And then you get into this larger political aspect of the film that I don't really need to get into here. But the Musketeers are tasked with a job. We have the evil Cardinal who is trying to chase them down, and they have a limited time to get to London, do something, get back to France. It becomes a bit of a chase movie. What I didn't remember about this one is the ridiculous humour that it has.
I said stop, sir! Yeah!
It's over the top, it's in your face, and it's an out and out comedy at moments. And I loved how we kind of focus on Michael York, who is the straight man of the piece, who can be a little bit of a bumbling idiot sometimes, but it's how all the other characters supporting him get to just live it up. Oliver Reed gets to play that larger than life drunk. It's an act, I promise.
And I...
And you?
I need a drink.
You get Richard Chamberlain, who really gets to be that charismatic, lovable rogue who's a musketeer. You get Christopher Lee as the eye patch wearing Rochefort, the bad guy. You get even Charlton Heston looks as if he's having an immense amount of fun. And that's what you can tell from all of the actors on this. They're all having a great time, and it comes across in the film itself. There are standout moments where it's swordplay, or where they're hiding and moving around the set, avoiding other people, which is really well choreographed, which just lets you know that you're in the hands of a solid director who knows what he's doing, who's being playful along the way, and it just becomes highly entertaining.
Before you go, sir, money for an excluded paper, sir. Sir, if you wouldn't have any odd change in...
But each of these scenes plays out almost like a vignette where you watch your characters do something ridiculously silly. I loved the earnestness that Michael York brings to this one. His steadfast playing it straight, mostly apart from the bumbling sequences, is just incredibly fun, and allows all the other players to kind of bounce off him and do something a little bit wackier. I loved the landscape and the way it kind of moves through these characters, the world that it builds. It feels grandiose. Some of the action set pieces I really enjoyed, particularly ones like there's a moment where D'Artagnan is following a woman through the streets, and he's doing a little bit of climbing up things and moving off ladders and jumping around, and it's so elegantly done and it's so immensely fun, and it just put a smile on my face watching this. I really enjoyed going back to The Three Musketeers. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a good adaptation, and with a cast to die for, it creates wonderful comedic moments and a great story that really enthuses me and makes me want to go back and check out The Four Musketeers. Let's dive into this disc, have a look at the extras and see what it has to offer. So here we are in the disc for The Three Musketeers. We have an interview with Neil Sinyard, which is 31 minutes 20, where he talks about his kind of personal relationship with Richard Lester, how the production came about, and some of the effects that it had on the cast and crew. Next up, we have the Saga of the Musketeers, Part 1, which is 23 minutes 30 seconds, talking to cast, talking to the crew, the producers, about the production. You're all kind of waiting on the news of the kind of split of the film into two parts, which was really interesting. It doesn't quite touch on it in this one, which I'm sure will be in the next disc, which will be excellent. The making of the Musketeers Vintage EPK is 6 minutes 47. It's a making of produced at the time. We have the original US trailer, which is 3 minutes 2 seconds, and the UK trailer, which is 2 minutes 36 seconds. It's quite interesting to see how they marketed films to different areas. And that's the extras for the Three Musketeers. So there we have it, the Three Musketeers. I would recommend picking this up. If you've never seen it before, it's incredibly fun. There is a great mainstay of cast, humour, action set pieces. It's got the lot. The tone is firmly in the cheek in this one. And I think you'll like it if you haven't already seen it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below, whether you loved it, hated it, found it average, or if you're willing to go and check it out now. I can't wait to read your comments. While you're down there, don't forget to hit the like button because it really helps these videos. There is more content up here if you want to see more of my stuff. And in the description box below are links to the Patreon, the membership programme, manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me.